been a while since those days where gaming was an niche hobby, and believe me when I say this, for better. But how many times have you seen your favorite franchise change to appeal bigger audiences? Something that on paper sounds like a dream come true. More people playing your favorite games, but on execution, it's complicated. The other day I was playing Atelier.
Atelier.
I didn't really hook me on start, so I figured out that I had to give some more time to find out why fans like this franchise. So that's what I did, and I started to see the charm on how gathering and exploration work out, apart from other charms. But then I was scrolling through reviews on YouTube and Steam, and it kinda seems like I was playing the game that was more divisive between fans, mostly claiming that they simplified core mechanics that made people love them in the first place. Apart from other technical issues, but there is nothing new under the sun on that. Anyhow, to compare these statements, I went back and I gave
Atelier.
Risa a try, and I found out those statements were correct. However, do these things make the new game bad? Not precisely, but it left me thinking. How many games nowadays feel quote-unquote ruined ever since the companies tried to make bigger audiences? I bet you do have a beloved franchise in mind that you feel this way about it right now. Is it a bad thing that these games try to be more accessible for everyone? Eventually no. If you want to keep people fighting tooth and nail that there is only a correct way or even a game to play from your favorite franchise, I mean, well, congratulations, you're a Sorry, that was for the League of Legends video. Nevertheless, bringing new people is never a bad thing. The problem that I personally encounter lately more than ever is that big companies, instead of trying to grow their audiences, they want to build new ones, sacrificing their fanbase in some cases in pursuit of bringing up more players, cause, as always, more people translates into more chances of that people investing money on that game, aka more money. It's always about money. I'm gonna mention games that now you probably love them the way they are nowadays, and let me tell you that I have nothing against you if you do, cause I can see the positive in those games, but I just wanna point out how I feel about them in general terms to explain this point. By the way, I will use the term casuals, not in a derogatory way. There's nothing wrong on being a casual on certain games. Playing sporadically or without competitive hunger is more than fine. I do it too in some games. Assassin's Creed, I know. You're gonna think that I'm just a veteran annoyed by how this game works nowadays, so let me explain. I love this franchise even to this day, to the point that even when they release games that I'm almost sure I won't like for being more of the same, I will give them a fair try anyways to see if they do have stuff that they can impress me. I don't expect to be baffled by the entire game, but at least I wanna see the positives. That being said, I haven't really felt immersed with any of these games since they changed the formula into being a full RPG. And I personally haven't had that much fun in traversing their maps either. Even with Origins and Odyssey, that at least those two I consider them both really good games nowadays. They sacrificed mechanics to add new ones that I like more in different franchises, but I don't really think they fit in this one. To the point that when they talk about Assassins against Templars, it just feels more like an excuse rather than something positive for this new amalgamation of RPG games. So, can I say this franchise lost its identity when it became way more popular to appeal to non-veterans? I mean, personally, yeah. This is just simply because there are old games in this franchise that have focus in things such as level design, stealth, and immersion being more important, at least to me, than just how accurate a city is recreated, how much dialogue options the game has, or if every collective is represented well in a way we are all comfortable. I just simply don't care how historically accurate or not these games are nowadays. I just want them to be cohesive and entertaining for me. Let me put this simple. I like Minecraft and I like Mario. Does this mean I want to craft on the next Mario game? No, right? Well, the same applies here for me. What I mean by this all is that why can't they just add both? Why do we have to sacrifice long-term beloved franchise in post of attracting potential newcomers? There are tutorials, accessibility options exist as well if someone just doesn't want to do parkour and press one button to move around. Those things exist. As far as I'm concerned, with Assassin's Creed Shadows, Ubisoft tried to do that. I haven't played it yet, so while it doesn't really look that good for me, I will give it a fair and reasonable try with my own money in the future. Cause it's always great to have an opinion about the game after trying it, and I wanna see the positives despite all. Little editor notation here, I eat my words. From the gameplays that I have seen, this game, at least gameplay wise, looks more fun than I thought. The only issue that I have is that I said the same for Valhalla, and I kinda hate that game, so we will see, we will see. I could talk hours about this franchise, cause that's how passionate I am for it, but let's just move on games that are not really single player. Tekken is a franchise of fighting games that I love. Tekken 8 is the game that I have played the most among the others. And I would even play it more if I had more incentives to play offline by myself. So, what problem do I have with it then? Well, for context, I'm decent at best at the game. So the problems that I'm gonna point out shouldn't really affect me in the short term, but actually hold me back from playing it more in the long term. Game is designed and balanced to be offensive oriented, which on paper that's not really a bad thing. The problem is that in execution you end up with a game that you only rank up on it by spamming the attacks that look the most obnoxious for the opponent to figure out on how to block them, if they can even be blocked in the first place. And they look so obnoxious cause in comparison with other Tekken games, Tekken 8 just has a lot more sparks, explosions and animations, something that makes the game more appealing to bigger audiences, including me as well, I won't lie, but it just makes the game illegible to play sometimes. And this also makes people that are fundamentally bad at the game feel good and have tools to play against people that have been playing this game for over 20 years. Something that again on paper is really good, cause you are attracting casuals to play a franchise that was so unbeatable to start in the first place, with its difficulty curve. Myself, I couldn't even play Tekken 7 because of this issue. However, personally for Tekken 8, I feel like there is no point in learning how to be extremely good at the game in the first place if you can just get rolled by a kid with 300 ping in Serbia that is touching the game for the first time, thanks to how the design and balance work. Removing the difficulty curve to make it more like a straight line made the game, to me at least, feel like less Tekken and more Street Fighter or Soul Calibur even. Other games that I like a lot, I just don't want a lot of their mechanics into this game. And I say this as a person who actually loves Tekken 8 but can only play it very casually nowadays because of this issue. So if you add that to the lack of rewards that I can get by playing offline, cause most of the rewards are locked behind a paywall, I just don't feel like investing time usually on it, sadly, nowadays. Season 2 is coming out, and all my hype was gone when I saw the devs just seem to enhance the problems that I already have with the game. But you know which mechanic doesn't look weird and is very rewarding? Pressing the like button and subscribe to this channel, yay! That being said, I gotta also admit that there are franchises I wouldn't even have tried in the first place if they didn't have this game more quote-unquote casual friendly. I feel like with
Atelier.
Yumiya is a fun open world game that I like from trailers and the art style despite its technical issues. It got me interested enough to see even older games from this franchise now. But if I was a fan, I feel like I would like it a lot less than the other entries, at least from what I tried so far. If Fortnite didn't ever add a mode without build, I wouldn't even be playing it in the first place. And build mode is a core mechanic of what made Fortnite fun in the first place for a lot of veteran fans back then. But at least both can coexist in this game and old-time fans don't feel pushed away. Especially nowadays that they are adding just more maps and older game modes. World of Warcraft Classic is another example on how to bring back veterans while also keeping the newcomers on retail. Talking this in general terms, at least, these two versions of the game are very tricky, and just for the sake of not making this video 24 minutes long, I'm gonna simplify it this way. So with all this in mind, the solution is simple, right? Add everything so the new fans and the old-timer fans are happy, right? Well, Even I know I ask for too much when it comes for Assassin's Creed. Have every mechanic in existence in the franchise stay current so everyone is happy. A game just can't simply have so much complexity in its mechanics due to costs, and the mechanics that are dumbed down and removed likely was just to attract new fan bases that prefer other games. But I can still feel annoyed and sad these things happen with the games I'm passionate about. Sometimes it's not even about mechanics why fans are pushed away. I know for a fact that a lot of people that used to play Pokemon stopped when the games became easier, and I guess Nintendo is that small indie company that can't add a difficulty setting before starting a new save file. Anyhow, even if we could preserve all these fan bases, especially for multiplayer games, the community at the end of the day will be split in half anyways, and we will make queue times of your beloved games even bigger, or maybe you won't even have enough people to play the modes or the mechanics you want in the first place. So what is the solution then? I wish I could have a direct and simple answer, but I don't have it sadly. And I guess the best way to put this is just hope for your beloved franchises to still have ways to play the old games you used to love. So that way you can go and play those versions instead of the new stuff you don't like. Like Minecraft, for example, that has different versions separate for you to play them. And to all the new fans in these long-term beloved franchises, don't get me wrong, I understand how you feel when someone expels toxicity over your favorite game, but try to not be so harsh on people that are actually passionate about the games that you are able to play now, cause you won't like to hear this, but it's because of them in the past that you can now play the games that you are playing nowadays. At the end of the day, we all want the same: enjoy games without being pushed away. And you can like new mechanics because they were simplified, and you shouldn't feel bad about it just because someone like me on internet don't like them. At the same time, the more we start accepting that homogenizing games is a good thing, the less unique and creative games we're gonna end up having. A problem that, in a way, even the indie industry is gonna end up having when the big names of the indies become even bigger. Keep in mind that all these big companies, they used to be a few devs in a garage back in the day, and most of these people either became CEOs or don't even work in those companies anymore. Which is also why your favorite game feels different, since different people are doing them nowadays. But you shouldn't feel worried entirely about this issue nowadays. Eventually, even if your beloved franchise ends up not picking up your interest anymore in the long term, I mean, it's sad, but considering how the industry works, a new game gonna end up showing up to replace that thing you always like, and no company can bend the memories you had with those games either way. I hope you all like this video, because I do try to bring up positivity on this channel, but there are stuff that I like and there is stuff that I don't like sometimes about video games, and I didn't really wanna try to censor myself just because it can attract some bad apples, you know? If you like it, subscribe to this channel, it will help me a lot, and leave your like as I said before, and I will see you all in the next one.